You know, the way that I approach writing music, you know, there's all kinds of musicians, and you know, I by no means have the only way. But for me, you know, I don't sit there for hours and labor over what I'm going to write. I don't sit there and, you know, try and think of lyrics or think of music even. You know, what I mostly do is, you know, spend time with the Lord and just wait for Him to put a song in my spirit, you know, because I feel like it just rolls out of, you know, wherever I'm at with the Lord or wherever I'm at musically. And you know, I remember one time I just woke up with one of the songs in my head. And I remember once I was, you know, driving home with my parents from church, just in the back seat, and I heard, you know, the chorus from one of the songs. And I may just stop the song if I run out, and it might sit for a year until I hear a chorus for it. But I found that if I try and force it, it's poor, because it's my effort. My effort is, you know, our righteousness is as filthy rags, and it's the same thing with our effort outside of Christ. So I really just wait on the Lord, and you know, I've gone a couple of years where I haven't heard a single song. You know, after I quit my band, the Lord cut me off, really, from hearing music to write. And there was a couple of years I was in a real dry spot, and I cried out to the Lord, and He didn't really release me until about 2 years ago to really start writing music again. And then, you know, once you practice it, and like practicing in the presence of God, it just starts to flow out of you. So that's really how I approach writing music. As far as my sound, you know, I love melody. I love harmony. You know, what I like is overarching melodies, overlapping harmonies, almost a cascading sound. A lot like, you know, there's some British bands, you know, like Muse, U2, and Delirious, and these bands they have a cascading sound I really like. And you know, other bands, you know, Hillsong United, you know, other things I look for, you know, simple lyrics, like Hillsong United, a lot of their stuff, the lyrics are simple, the chords are simple, but it's a song that can be sung easily, a song that gets in your spirit and you just repeat it over and over, and it really takes on a life of its own. So simple lyrics, overarching melodies and harmonies, just a full, beautiful sound. I want something beautiful, sometimes haunting, sometimes epic. You know, going back to bands like Muse, other bands that, you know, that really inspired me sound-wise, like DC Talk, as far as their studio quality, and you know, Newsboys, you know, just a really audio adrenaline, just a really polished, you know, fun, beautiful sound. And when I'm like on stage, you know, I really think that, you know, when I'm on stage, especially with my brother, we just we really get into a groove, and you know, there's not a lot of thought that goes into it. There's not a lot of nervousness. We just get up there and we do. We just get up there and enter into the music, and when you flow, it just kind of comes out of you. And I really don't, you know, like when I lead worship, I have a plan, but outside of that plan, it's about just pursuing the music and hearing it and having fun. I can be a little bit intense sometimes on stage, or I can be, you know, kind of laid back. Really, it's the only way I can describe it is, you know, I'm in that place, and I'm not thinking about it. I'm not focusing on it. It's just coming out of me, and you know, at the end of a performance, I'm just burnt out because I usually just pour it all out. It's just like I'm in the moment. And there's been an occasional moment where you almost feel like you're outside of your own self. You're watching your band around you, you're watching yourself with your band. And you know, those are the moments, you know, those are the best moments in my life. To be honest, you know, it's like this connection of musicians, and you know, with the Holy Spirit, you know, it takes a whole other record. So, you know, when you really find God in your music, you know, it changes you. You get changed, you don't come out the same. So, yeah, it's awesome.
So tell us about your newest release.
Oh man, yeah, Born to Believe. We've been, my brother and I, we've been working on this for about 2 years. It's our first major release since ever. You know, we had a band in high school, we had a CD. It was not a major release, we sold them at lunch. But Born to Believe is what I like to think of as our first album, is what we would consider musicians of a certain quality. And you know, we really got the motivation, you know, just looking at our own lives and really the calling of a Christian. And, you know, stylistically, it's a little bit more eclectic than we did in high school. There's a lot more acoustic in there. You know, we've got some more electric type tracks. You know, we use a drum loop, which, you know, something we never would have done before, but it's something that we feel is just more and more a part of music, you know. And, you know, we got to collaborate with a couple of our different, you know, musician friends that we've run into over the years, and just what they bring is just a different style than what we would have had before. It's a little bit more fresh. I think I said more eclectic before, a little more open. and a lot more relaxed and focused, this time around. And, we're super excited for it. We got these 8 new songs we've been working on for a while. And, we haven't performed them yet. We kind of saved it and used our old stuff. And, when we release this album here, we're really gonna take them outside of our practice room, and we're really excited for that. From a young age, we are called to be light and salt in the earth. We are called to, we are the sons and daughters of the living God. And, we are only in this world to glorify the Lord. And that's really where this idea of born to believe comes from. But also, a freshness and a newness that comes with birth. I had a son, about a year ago now. And, a lot of these themes started pulling together. Being born into the world is a completely new experience. You're going from an old thing, from darkness, like in the womb, and really just not knowing, really just sensation to a life. And you start to think, you start to act, you start to become a person. And it's a whole new beginning, and that's really our motivation.